enemy head-on, but C's smart and he's bringing his tanks into a forward position. I think this is what's going to give him a huge advantage in this game because, as you see, Daezang's now forced in the position to attack and to get rid of this tank push, or else slowly, with the help of these missile turrets, it will creep up to his new expansion here at the inside 4 o'clock position. And it looks like C actually just still trying to get in with these vultures, and like you were saying, Diggity, they're quite cheap on a map like this where you have plenty of minerals but not enough gas. And I'd have to say, what would you think as a Protoss player Daezang could do to get back in this game right now? Switch tech to High Templar, or perhaps even try to go for higher tech? What would you say?
Honestly, I think he's just getting contained. I think what he needs to do is use those shuttles he has, and maybe just go for a base in the blind and just hope that C does not spot it off. Maybe in the 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock position, just hope he doesn't spot it. Maybe get a Reaver backside, as you can see C now expanding that upper right-hand corner. While during this contain, which I know is extremely difficult, but that way C at least has to split forces to another direction. Maybe get some cannons up there so vultures just don't get the job done, and maybe then at least split his focus in a couple areas and maybe try to catch up economically. Right now C's in a very strong position. Looks like he's setting up on his second gas. In the meantime, Daezang is just bleeding troops. All the troops he's producing are essentially going in to try to break this blockade, and that's and for C, it's cheap units. He can throw out the vultures, lay down some mines, and just let Daezang splatter into him. In the meantime, we'll see what's going on. It looks like he's getting some cannons in the back base there, and this has been, I think this is going to be a common pattern for Terrans versus Protoss. Put pressure on early and just starve them out, and it looks like this is just going to end up working out for C. I'm not sure if Daezang, it's the higher tech units, is you can't get to arbiters, which you really need to kind of break the Terran push, and you really can't get to carriers either. So someone's going to have to innovate something, I think, here to get past the push. I don't know, kind of talking insane talk, maybe get some Corsairs into Disruption Web or something.
Yeah, that would actually be interesting, right.
Wow, all those tanks broken again by Daezang.
Yes,
he's
once
been
again
doing
by
a
the
fantastic
awesome
job.
play.
I think.
Yeah, and actually,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, just the shuttle, the fact that shuttle is only 200 minerals may play an important factor, and maybe he's decided to go for a lot of shuttles because it is a mineral-only unit, and Zealot bombs Zealots plus shuttles are quite effective against these kind of static contains, especially if there's a lot of mines lying around, like there were for C at that point.
C almost looks kind of lackadaisical here. Looks angry but lackadaisical, and I'm kind of curious. He's been bunching up one of the another there's a mine located at that position, so that expansion is going to get spotted out. But he's really been bunching up his tanks. These Reaver shots have been really effective because you've seen like 3 or 4 tanks essentially in a grouping for that single Reaver shot to just do as much damage as possible. And now Daezang, it looks like he's just I'm not sure actually which player is which. I'm going to assume that Daezang is on the right. Has a lot of minerals in the bank. We'll see if he decides to convert that into Zealots. C, as you can see, his main is starting to get thin, so he just can't keep up producing vultures and expect Daezang to starve him out. But still in an economic position, he owns the map at the moment. He has that 3 o'clock, he has that 9 o'clock. So Daezang, now here's Daezang pushing up, and this is what I was kind of hoping to do a lot earlier.
Yeah, he definitely needs to push out because I do believe the left counter is C, and if you guys can't see it because of the Korean names, he has a 125 food count to 121 food count, so he's in a slight lead here, but looks like Daezang actually going for another great Reaver drop here at the 1 o'clock position, at the corner expansion, but meanwhile C is doing a big push on this natural expansion here, I'm sorry, at the new expansion here at the 3 o'clock position, and it looks like this will go down here. I just don't see what he's going to be able to do. It looks like he's trying to even up the game here. He's going for a central attack and trying to flank the Terran contain here, but without those shuttles, he's going to find it much more difficult. Actually, no, he does push through. So it looks like actually he managed to hold off the attack at the inside 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, his Reaver is wrecking havoc. His Reaver's got 13 kills already, 12 kills actually, 13 kills, and just great work. What do you think, Diggity?
This is exactly what he needs to do. He just needs to keep it disrupting that economy, keep C distracted, make sure C can't focus on one area. You saw what C did. I feel like it was kind of a calculated move there. He was like, well, if you're going to try to distract me, I'm distracting you. Now Daezang is pushing in with all of his Dragoons to that basically that 1 o'clock position. C can't afford to lose that. Otherwise, he's going to essentially be mining out of a single base. Zealots pushing up, it looks like, to supplement, to break any backup forces. It looks like actually that's a little bit of a shield against the Zealots. And he does have tanks actually to meet in that position, but maybe there's a shuttle nearby with some units as well. Now it looks like those vultures coming around. The question is, where do those vultures dedicate? Zealots, they are speed upgraded now, starting to push up as well. C additionally trying to take another position. It looks like C getting units there in position just in time. Very gutsy move. Now
Yeah,
Daezang's coming around,
yeah.
running in on the tanks, and the question is if this is huge. If he can take this expansion down, he'll be right back in the game. He'll be in a very strong position, moving all the Dragoons in. Only one tank left on the ground. More backup forces coming in, but will it be enough? I just don't know. It looks like a lot of tanks. Honestly, I think gonna back up, but I still think that command center is in range. I don't know. C's at least gonna have to lift off, and this is exactly what Daezang needs to do. I really feel like if he gets that, he has that additional expansion up in the meantime, starting to back off, but at least he's disrupted a lot of that resource flow. And the question is can he expand one more time? Can he continue to keep? Now he's basically sort of got to contain on C, although usually you don't. Protoss versus Terran contains don't work out so well, especially with just the limited Dragoons. But he's been doing a fantastic job of keeping C on his toes.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, on another map, that push may have succeeded in taking out Daezang, and taking out C entirely. I think on this map though, the ridges do play a big effect here, because if you look here at the lower left, C has gotten a couple of tanks in that strategic position once again, and I do think this is slightly because of the map bias that Daezang's is still quite far behind. But I agree, if he can get one more expansion, I think he will be quite fine.
Looks like he's starting to expand on that inside 6 o'clock location, but still, yeah, it's going to be... I think he's going to end up losing this 7 o'clock location. Now he's sending a shuttle out to do some damage in the backfield. Maybe he'll come back around, try to defend that. As you can see, those tanks can just siege from that ridge side. I was kind of wondering why he was putting that Nexus a little farther to the right and dropping that Reaver down. I don't think that Reaver's... Oh, 2 Reavers in that shuttle, so managed to take that tank out, and now starting to push up, and he's going on the inside 11 o'clock location. Brilliant, keeping C so spread out. C's going to have to back up his forces at the 6 o'clock location to fight this off, and the double Reaver attack at that 12 o'clock and also at this base right here. Absolutely brilliant play from Daezang.
Yeah, I have to say, this game is back and forth. This game's insane, actually. I didn't expect such an exciting TVP here in our first dual commentary, but this is just an amazing game. Neither player is waiting to build up here, but looks like Daezang is going to get taken out here at C's expansion at the inside 9 o'clock position. It looks like Daezang once again committing to these shuttles and these Reavers. I don't know where he's getting all the gas from. I guess it's just because he doesn't have as big of a ground force as a Protoss player would at this point. Also, the fact is we haven't seen a single High Templar or a Templar unit so far in this game, so he's definitely saving gas by not building those units. I think this is too close to call right now. One thing that does surprise me a little bit is that well, I don't know if it surprised me. Actually, just I was going to say, he has no Goliaths, and now the first Goliath actually walks out. So I think some mobile anti-air would have been quite useful in holding down his contain about 5 minutes ago. But you know, it's still just a really close game. He's managed to actually kill the Nexus here at the lower corner. So now I think it's 4 bases to 4 bases total, and or even to 3 bases. Actually, Daezang only has 3 bases now compared to 4 for C. And I feel like this game is slipping away from Daezang, even though he's staying on the offensive. It's just that none of his attacks are really sticking, I guess. C's just managed to just hold him off and consistently use the ridges to his benefit. Like this ridge over here that we just saw there with the Observer, I do think that it's quite a difficult ridge for either Zerg or a Protoss player to break against a good Terran sieging. So you know, not to be too early to jump the gun, but I do think this map is a little bit biased towards Terran, and we are seeing a drop here in the center. But like I said, I just think that C, if he gets just a couple more, if he manages to hold off one more expansion from Daezang, he will be able to take the economic lead, because I'm pretty sure both are going to start being mined out in their mains and probably at their natural expansions also. So yeah, so how do you think C has just managed to deal with this attack? I mean, it seems that a few minutes ago Daezang was firmly in the lead, but now it looks like the tables have turned, sort of.
Looks like C's, yeah, taking a firm lead. He's way ahead on unit count. More drops coming in. Reaver somehow keeping Daezang in this match, and I would feel like any other map, at any other match, basically, Daezang would be ahead in this with the harassment he's done thus far. But basically, the cheapness, the lack of additional gas, things like that. Daezang, I feel like, is, even though he's had the better play at times, is just still falling behind in general, just getting out macroed. And as you can see, down to, it looks like 78 units on the other side to 124. That is a bad position.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a Protoss player being in. Looks like C is in the meantime expanded the 9 o'clock location. If Daezang does not stop that 9 o'clock location, or at least stop some of the inside, what is that, 11 o'clock, as well as that 1 o'clock expansion, he's just going to end up getting starved out over the long term. I know I've been saying that, and he's going to carriers now.
And he's going to carriers, yeah.
Wow, he does. I do think he has the gas to do that. If he, I'm sorry, actually, no, he does not. He's only got 2 gas, and one of them has to be depleted. I don't know where he's expecting to get this additional gas.
And he's just, I think he's just about to lose the inside 6 o'clock position. I was just going to say, I think he ran all the probes away from there, so I think he's going to be down just to the corner expansion at the 7 and at the inside 3. Yeah, but I agree. I don't think he has the gas.
This is such a ballsy maneuver because essentially he's not producing units here. As you can see, he's dropping down to about 63 psi, and what he's relying on is that C is not switching to any anti-air because he's dedicating to such a mineral and then basically spending all his gas on tanks. So he's letting C build up his forces as far as ground, but no anti-air, and then he's hoping by the time he has 6 carriers out, he's not going to be able to switch to Goliath just because his gas is going to be spent. So this is a huge risk. He really can't defend himself in the meantime. I only see 3 Goliaths down on the ground, maybe about 5, but that's not going to stop a big carrier push. So I guess it's just timing for him. Is can he get that out? Can he survive long enough to get a carrier force out to really defend himself? As you can see, all sorts of probes around that gas at the moment. And now C is knocking right on the door. If he manages to survive this, Diggity,
if he manages to do this, this would be a Pimpus play, like #1 Pimpus play if he wins this game somehow at this point.
Somehow.
He just springs carriers under his butt.
Looks like he's already losing that additional gas. The carrier is starting to push out, but only a single carrier. I don't think it's going to be enough, and because he hasn't been producing units otherwise, specifically Dragoons, yeah, I just don't think he's going to be able to hold this. I expect a GG as soon as this expansion goes down.
Yeah, I agree here, but I do think the last minute going to carriers actually wasn't necessarily a bad idea. Like you were saying, he was just realizing he couldn't fight this, continue this losing battle, and he just needed to do something to surprise C. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. I think 2 or 3 minutes earlier might have been a good switch, but at this point, I do feel like this is a good game. Although it was a valiant move. That's what I like about Air Force Ace. That's why I love to cast their games, because I feel like their players are just, they're older, they're wilier, they're just sort of like, they're just very tough players. I have to say, they're mentally tough, having been through the military, and they're creative. I think that's another thing. I think they're just the age.
Ballsy,
with the age comes some creativity, and while they may lack in certain perfection in their play, GG here, while they may lack in the practice and in necessarily getting the right build orders all the way to the 10th minute, I think they make up for it with creativity and with just ballsiness in general. But
yeah, well
played by C too. Yeah, sorry, this game. I was just gonna say C, just following sort of a standard Terran play almost. I don't think C had to diverge from his build actually that much. Whereas I feel like the shuttle intensive play from Daezang perhaps was a divergence from what Protoss would usually do, which is go for some higher tech after getting several expansions. What do you think about that, Diggity?
I think he would have had a better time had C not spotted it out, or if he had gone a shuttle before Observer, playing a little bit sort of conservatively on his side. I feel like not going for that early shuttle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
kind of made the robotics bay early kind of pointless in my opinion. And additionally, I kind of disagree that I don't think he could have switched to carriers early, because if he did switch to carriers early, C would have just run him over earlier. But I have to give him props for that last minute attempted switch. But yeah, at the same time, I think that was definitely creative. I definitely like that he was going for kind of a shifted play. He's trying to adapt to the map. And I think it's just a matter of time before Protoss figures something out to deal with this. Like Moletrap usually says, there is no unbalanced map. You just have to deal with it. And I'm kind of curious how Protoss players are going to deal with it. I think a lot of people are going to take a look at this and think about doing that early shuttle drop. And I'm wondering, maybe even like doing some sort of quick zealot, I don't know, just keep players on their toes, keep them so they can't really go into that Terran push, which is just so effective here. And I'm wondering, yeah, I'm still surprised actually that C at the very beginning, I think what Daezang was expecting was a 2-factory push, and instead he ended up facing a fast expand, so I think that took him off a little bit as well. But anyway, let's move on to the next game. Any final thoughts there,
Absolutely. Well, next game is Zelos versus Jangbi, and Jangbi almost made it to the last round of MSL, so I do expect him in some ways to be more traditional or I guess more of a highly skilled Protoss player. I guess I'd have to say that. So we'll see how he manages to adjust and compare his play to Daezang's. But thanks for listening. That's pretty much it. Good game.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.